Well, here we go on again, looking at what's happening here on America's Voice. Hillary Clinton inserting herself into the January 6th committee narratives. Of course she is. Of course she is. She tweeted this out yesterday. The latest January 6th hearings show that Trump knew he lost the election. His own people told him he'd lost the election. He then chose to wage a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results and prevent the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in American history. This is the same Hillary who still won't admit that Donald Trump beat her legitimately in 2016, concocted a scheme to say it was the Russians who hacked the 2016 election and ultimately tried to bring down the Trump presidency before it began by buying all sorts of disinformation, then lying to the FBI, and the list goes on. The same Hillary. With me to talk about this, the co-host of Just the News, Not Noise, Amanda Head here with me. Amanda, the gall of some people, but I just hope she runs again in 2024. A little dream I have. Anyhow, what do you make of this?
Gosh, some people just have absolutely no self-awareness. And
None.
Can you imagine the mindset it requires, Steve, to type out that tweet and at no point in those 180 characters, however many it is, at no point in typing that does it occur to you that people might be thinking you're talking about yourself? Look, when it pertains to January 6th, obviously this week's episode of the first season of January 6 hearings, it's already been canceled. The first week they had, 20 million viewers, so I think that they vastly underperformed. But at the end of the day, I think Americans are over January 6th. When you look at approval ratings, I looked this up, right after January 6th, President Trump's approval rating dropped from 43.7 to 39.3. That was right after January 6th. Joe Biden is 38.9. Joe Biden's approval rating right now is even lower than Donald Trump's was after January 6th, 2021. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. Well, the numbers are devastating for her, but you just have to ask yourself. She comes out, pokes her head up here and there. She has this need to be relevant. She's not relevant. She was somebody who didn't visit Wisconsin, who didn't take seriously the Democrats, felt she was owed the presidency. Somehow she was entitled to it. And she's entitled to keep talking about it, even though everything we've said about Hillary Clinton is true. She concocted the Steele dossier. She concocted the Russia conspiracy. She concocted the whole hoax. She paid for it. And yet she'll never be held accountable, except by Americans that are willing to tell the truth, like you and I, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she just has this bitter, scorned woman, entitled attitude. It actually reminded me, I think maybe we mentioned this when we talked about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. There were a lot of things that Amber Heard said on the stand and the way that she acted, her mannerisms, her attitude that reminded me of Hillary Clinton. And you're right, it's that entitlement. In 2016, she expected it to be a coronation. There wasn't an election. That was just a formality that she had to endure to be placed on her high throne. The election was just, a minor inconvenience on her way to what she deemed to be what she was owed. And unfortunately, she got dumped with a cold bucket of water, a cold dose of reality. And I'm with you, Steve. I would be delighted to see her run again.
Wouldn't that be nice? And in fact, what I have said for years that I don't think I've ever said on this program, at least not recently, the best thing that Republicans could do to win office is to send Hillary on a book tour and pay for it. Do it one of those sneaky ways that the Democrats would. Put her on a book tour. Put her on all those places that are kind of like close races and put Hillary there a few days before the election. Pay for her appearances. Let her be on local television. That's a winning formula for Republicans. And I'm not joking. Put her wherever you think a Republican might be in trouble and boom, put her there. Changes everything. I don't think that anybody takes her seriously. I don't think people like her at all, obviously.
No, her approval ratings as far as likability have gone down even more than they did, especially as more information comes out about her signing off on stories, going to the FBI and, of course, the New York Times, that whole circular journalism thing that we all saw coming out of Russia. So her numbers are in the pooper. But let's have a Trump-Clinton redo in 2024. That would be a thrill to watch. And for those of us in the media, Steve, man, that would be awesome.
Man, Battle of the Titans. I'd like celebrity death match, a little claymation things. I'd love it. Let me ask you one other thing while I've still got you here. I mean, because Democrats refuse to see the obvious. And the big win last night by the Congresswoman, the first woman born in Mexico to be elected to Congress there in South Texas. This is a sea change. This is a huge deal. And Democrats are like, well, yeah, but the next district's going to be a little bit different. Are you joking? This woman put faith, family, country. Those are the three things that said on her yard signs. That's a winning message. It's a rejection of people like Hillary Clinton. It's a rejection of people like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and AOC. Faith, family, country. These are winning messages that will resonate for conservative candidates, America First candidates across this country. I believe right through November. I'll give you the last word.
I think it's incredible, and I think that you have got to be ignoring all of the tea leaves for Democrats. You know, you look at the latest Quinnipiac poll that came out, I think, on Friday, and approval rating among Hispanics for Joe Biden is under 30%. I think it's the mid-20s. So this is just a sign, I think, of things to come, and Elon Musk adding a little bit of icing on the cake, saying that she was the first Republican he ever voted for, Red Wave 2022. I think, I hope he's right, and I hope that she is an indication of what's to come.
Congresswoman Flores, congratulations, absolutely. All right, Amanda, we'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock on Just the News, Not Noise with John Solomon, as we do every weekday here on Real America's Voice. As always, a pleasure.